August 7th, 2023 council meeting as presented and not read, please.
I'll make a motion to accept minutes from August 7th, 2023 council meeting as presented and not read.
Second. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Sam. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Thank you. We're looking next for a motion to accept purchase orders from August 5th, 2023 to August 18th, 2023, totaling $7,979 as presented and not read, please.
I'll make a motion to accept purchase orders from August 5th, 2023 to August 18th, 2023, totaling $7,979.
I'll second.
Thanks, John. Thank you, Heather. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Thank you. We're looking next for a motion to accept bills from August 5th, 2023 to August 18th, 2023, totaling $108,911.98 as presented and not read, please.
I'll make a motion to accept bills from August 5th, 2023 to August 18th, 2023, totaling $108,911.98 is presented and not read.
I'll second.
Thank you. Laura, Vicki, and John. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Okay, and we're looking next for a motion to accept then and now purchase order for the Omni Pro invoice for $8,939 from the sanitary and road project as presented and not read, please.
I'll make a motion to accept then and now purchase orders for the Omnipro invoice, $8,939 from the sanitary and road project as presented and not read.
Second.
Thanks. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Okay, we're now moving into the reading of ordinances and resolutions, please.
Resolution number 7283-2023, a resolution accepting the purchase agreement from Aqua, Ohio for the Village of Lakemore's water system. Whereas Mayor and Council acknowledge the need to diligently define the most affordable means to provide water and sanitary sewer services to the Village of Lakemore. And whereas Mayor and Council proactively sought interest in a proposal from Aqua, Ohio for the partnership or purchase of the Village of Lakemore sanitary and water systems. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, State of Ohio. Section 1, Mayor and Council had shown an indication of interest to partner with Aqua, Ohio for the Village of Lakemore's water and sanitary systems in an effort to provide the most affordable utility services to the Village of Lakemore customers. Section 2, Mayor and Council had reviewed the proposal for purchase of the Village of Lakemore's water system from Aqua, Ohio, and agreed to the terms of acquisition. The proposal is attached here to and made part of as if fully written herein. Section 3, Mayor and Council were seeking interest for purchase of the Village of Lakemore sanitary system. Aqua, Ohio had no interest in purchasing the Village of Lakemore sanitary system. Section 4, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 5, this resolution shall take full force and effect on and after the earliest period allowed by law. Resolution number 7287-2023, a resolution accepting the resignation of Wesley Rogers as a part-time patrolman with the Lakemore Police Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, State of Ohio. Section 1, Council regretfully accepts the resignation of Wesley Rogers as a part-time patrolman with the Lakemore Police Department and thanks him for his service. Section 2, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all such deliberations of this council and any of its committees that resulted in formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 3, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure in the interest of the health, peace, and safety of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. Therefore, this resolution should take effect on August 31st, 2023. Resolution number 7288-2023. A resolution accepting the resignation of Mary Beth Klink as a part-time sergeant with the Lakemore Police Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, State of Ohio. Section 1, Council regretfully accepts the resignation of Mary Beth Klink as a part-time sergeant with the Lakemore Police Department and thanks her for her service. Section 2, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all such deliberations of this council and any of its committees that resulted in formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 3, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure in the interest of the health, peace, and safety of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. Therefore, this resolution shall take effect immediately. Resolution 7289-2023. A resolution approving the Village of Lakemore Police Department to enter into a service agreement with Springfield Local Schools to provide an attendance coordinator. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, and State of Ohio. Section 1, that Council approves the Village of Lakemore Police Department to enter into a service agreement with Springfield Local Schools to provide an attendance coordinator. Section 2, this agreement is effective for the 2023-2024 school year for 176 days. Section 3, a copy of the agreement is attached hereto and made part hereof as if fully rewritten herein. Section 4, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all such deliberations of this council and any of its committees that resulted in formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 5, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure in the interest of the health, peace, and safety of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. Therefore, this resolution shall take effect immediately. Resolution number 7290-2023. A resolution approving the fire chief to hire Brandon Ham as a part-time firefighter medic with the Lakemore Fire Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, and State of Ohio. Section 1, Council approves to hire Brandon Ham as a part-time firefighter medic with the Lakemore Fire Department. Section 2, Mr. Ham will serve a 1-year probation. Section 3, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council or any of its committees that resulted in such formal actions were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 4 of this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure in the interest of the health, peace, and safety of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. Therefore, this resolution should take effect immediately. Resolution number 7291-2023, a resolution approving the fire chief to promote Kevin Atkinson to assistant chief with the Lakemore Fire Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, and State of Ohio. Section 1, Council approves to promote Kevin Atkinson to assistant chief with the Lakemore Fire Department. Section 2, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure in the interest of the health, peace, and safety of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. Therefore, this resolution should take effect on August 30th, 2023. Resolution number 7292-2023. A resolution approving the fire chief to promote David Goodspeed to captain with the Lakemore Fire Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, and State of Ohio. Section 1, Council approves to promote David Goodspeed to captain with the Lakemore Fire Department. Section 2, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure in the interest of the health, peace, and safety of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. Therefore, this resolution shall take effect August 30th, 2023. Resolution number 7293-2023, a resolution approving the fire chief to promote Brandon Ernsberger to lieutenant with the Lakemore Fire Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, and State of Ohio. Section 1, Council approves to promote Brandon Ernsberger to lieutenant with the Lakemore Fire Department. Section 2, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure in the interest of the health, peace, and safety of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. Therefore, this resolution shall take effect August 30th, 2023. Resolution number 7294-2023, a resolution approving the fire chief to promote Daniel Himes to lieutenant with the Lakemore Fire Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, and State of Ohio. Section 1, Council approves to promote Daniel Himes to lieutenant with the Lakemore Fire Department. Section 2, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure in the interest of the health, peace, and safety of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. Therefore, this resolution should take effect August 30th, 2023. Resolution number 7295-2023, a resolution proclaiming the Village of Lakemore will observe October 1st through October 7th as Stormwater Awareness Week. Whereas communities across Ohio are urging residents to be the change for clean water and take action during Stormwater Awareness Week, October 1st to October 7th, 2023. And whereas Stormwater Awareness Week offers residents an opportunity to learn how they can take small actions to make a big impact on protecting Springfield Lake. While rainwater is great for lawns and gardens, it can be dangerous for streams and rivers. And whereas stormwater can push common household items such as trash, lawn fertilizer, or paint into local waterways, threatening our environment and waterways. Therefore, the mayor and council of the Village of Lakemore hereby proclaim the Village of Lakemore is observing Stormwater Awareness Week and strongly urges the citizens and businesses of the Village of Lakemore to take simple actions to improve water quality and reduce stormwater runoff. Section 1, that the Village of Lakemore recognizes October 1st until October 7th, 2023 as Stormwater Awareness Week. Section 2, during Stormwater Awareness Week, soil and water conservation districts throughout Ohio are urging residents to take one or more of the following actions. Pick up trash in your neighborhood or a local park. It can be a family game to see who can fill up a bag first. Pollution left on roadways, sidewalks, driveways, and parking lots drains directly to our streams and rivers. Check the weather report before applying fertilizer to your lawn or any oil or chemicals to driveways or sidewalks. This will protect the environment and your pocketbook. Make sure lawns have 3 to 4 inches of topsoil under the grass. This will reduce runoff as well as make lawns easier to maintain. Plant native plants that have deep roots, which will help break up clay, soil, and increase the amount of water remaining on a property while benefiting birds, butterflies, and bees. Plant a tree in your yard or install a rain garden. Trees can soak up 900 gallons of rain a year, and a well-designed rain garden almost entirely reduces stormwater from a property. Stormwater can also erode away streams, which can cause flooding. Each year, conservation districts investigate multiple sources of pollution and assist hundreds of homeowners concerned with stream erosion and flooding, all caused by stormwater runoff. Encourage local businesses to become a water quality partner. Section 3, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council or any of its committees that resulted in such formal actions were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 4 of this resolution shall go into effect on and after the earliest period allowed by law. Resolution number 7296-2023, a resolution expressing support for the City of Akron, Ohio's, the cities or Akron's, proposed alternative combined sewer overflow, or CSO, projects in Summit County, Ohio, which will provide a greater environmental benefit for the Cuyahoga River watershed region than the Row 11.A requirement in Akron's long-term control plan update, urging the United States Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, to reconsider its continued insistence in requiring Akron to spend in excess of $200 billion on largely idle water treatment technology, but instead move forward with more environmentally beneficial and cost-effective alternative projects and declaring an emergency. Whereas in 2009, the United States of America, on behalf of the EPA, filed a complaint against Akron and others alleging unauthorized discharges of sewage by the city from its combined and sanitary sewer system in violation of the Clean Water Act, or CWA, 33 U.S.C. 1311, 1319B, and 1365A, the complaint. And whereas in order to resolve the complaint, and without admitting fault or conceding the violations alleged therein, in 2009, Akron, the United States, and the state of Ohio lodged a federal consent decree with the court, and the court entered the consent decree in 2014, the dissent decree. The dissent decree contained certain approved deliverables, including but not limited, implementing projects in Akron's approved long-term control plan update, with which Akron agreed to abide, or the consent decree requirements. And whereas the consent decree requirements were at substantial cost to Akron's ratepayers and are a significant burden to the economically disadvantaged, being in excess of $1 trillion. And whereas since entry of the dissent decree, Akron EPA and the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency, or Ohio EPA, have successfully negotiated it, and the court has entered 2 subsequent amendments to the consent decree, both of which have had a net positive effect on the environment and have resulted in substantial monetary savings to Akron and its residents. And whereas Akron, the EPA, and the Ohio EPA have also agreed to a 3rd modification of the consent decree to provide greater protection to the environment at a reduced cost by right-sizing the North Side Interceptor Tunnel and engaging in the Riverside Sewer Separation Project. And whereas Akron is in the process of implementing the North Side Interceptor Tunnel, or NSIT, project, and the Riverside Sewer Separation Project, and the only other remaining consent decree project is the requirement to install an ACT iFlow ballasted flocculation unit, or equivalent technology, also known as the Enhanced High Rate Treatment, or EHRT. And whereas without the EHRT, Akron will be capturing and treating 99% of the wet weather flows and reducing the number of combined sewer overflow events from its system by 99.7% with the completion of the inset and Riverside sewer separation. And whereas the EHRT was originally projected to treat 190 million gallons of CSOs from 7 modeled overflow events at the Ohio Canal Interceptor Tunnel in the typical year in 2011. And whereas as Akron has utilized a significantly improved model and actual data from operating its new wastewater treatment system, the projections demonstrate less than 100 million gallons of CSOs from 3 modeled overflow events at the OCIT in a typical year today. And whereas the estimated capital cost of the EHRT has increased from $73 million at the time of the LTCP development to a current estimated of $209 million, and alternative treatment technologies do not show a more cost-effective solution. And whereas Akron proposes to address persistent daily bacteria loadings to the Cuyahoga River watershed that threaten recreational uses of our waterways from the Springfield Lake outlet all the way to the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, instead of bacteria loadings that would only occur during recreationally dangerous high-flow events that are projected to occur only 3 times in a typical year. And whereas in an alternative to the EHRT project, Akron, through a partnership with Summit County, has proposed 4 alternative projects that would cost substantially less than the EHRT and include reducing the typical year discharge to 62.1 million gallons by treating wastewaters at Akron's existing Cuyahoga Street storage facility, sewering the village of Peninsula, located in the heart of the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, conducting studies necessary to begin the process of providing sanitary sewer service to the Sawyerwood neighborhood of Springfield Township, and addressing sanitary sewer overflows to Springfield Lake from the village of Lakemore. And whereas Ohio EPA and Summit County support Akron's proposal to address more cost-effective, recreationally sensitive, and environmentally just bacteria elimination projects in the watershed instead of the EHRT. And whereas the alternative sewer projects proposed by Akron and Summit County represent a once-in-a-generational opportunity to not only significantly improve the welfare of financially disadvantaged Summit County communities, but also the opportunity to significantly improve water quality within Akron and all of Summit County by materially reducing pollutants in Springfield Lake, the Little Cuyahoga, and the Cuyahoga River, all while reducing the already overwhelmingly financial burden already placed on Akron residents. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, and State of Ohio, Section 1, that Council, on behalf of the Village of Lakemore, hereby expresses its support of Akron's proposed alternative CSO projects in lieu of the EHRT. Section 2, that the Clerk of Council is hereby directed to forward a copy of this resolution to the Administrator of the United States Environmental Protection Agency, Mr. Michael Regan, and to the Region 5 Administrator of the United States Environmental Protection Agency, Ms. Deborah Shore. Section 3, that this resolution is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of public peace, health, safety, and welfare, for the reason that it is immediately necessary for this council to express its support for more impactful and cost-effective water treatment technology that will benefit not only Akron, but all of Summit County and the greater Akron region, and provided this resolution receives the affirmative vote of 2/3 of the members elected or appointed to council, it shall take effect and be enforced immediately upon its passage and approval by the mayor. Otherwise, it will take effect and be enforced at the earliest time allowed by law. Resolution number 7297-2023. A resolution accepting the proposal from Hamilton and Associates Ltd. For professional surveying and engineering services for replacing the water line on First Street. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, State of Ohio. Section 1, Council accepts a proposal from Hamilton Associates Ltd. To perform professional surveying and engineering services for the design and construction of a water line to replace the existing one on First Street. Section 2, the estimate for these services is $41,000. The proposal is attached here to and made part of as if fully were written herein. Section 3 is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all such deliberations of this council and any of its committees that resulted in formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 4 of this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure in the interest of the health, peace, and safety of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. Therefore, this resolution should take effect immediately. Resolution number 7298-2023. A resolution accepting the amounts and rates and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the Summit County Fiscal Officer. Now there be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, Ohio. Section 1, Council hereby authorizes the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission. Council authorizes the necessary tax levies and certify them to the Summit County Fiscal Officer. Section 2, a copy of the tax levy certification is attached here to and made part of hereof as if fully written herein. Council understands the Village of Lakemore's official certificate of estimated resources for 2024 will be sent prior to January 1st, 2024. Section 3 is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all such deliberations of this council and any of its committees that resulted in formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 4 of this resolution shall go into effect on and after the earliest period allowed by law. Ordinance number 1823-2023. An ordinance accepting the dedication of streets and utilities within the Hidden Lake Estates Phase 8 subdivision for public purposes, setting performance and maintenance guarantees therefore, and providing for immediate enactment. Whereas TWL Hidden Lake LLC, or the owner, and/or their designated representative have presented a plat subdividing certain property owned by them within the village of Lakemore, Ohio. And whereas the planning commission of the village has approved such subdivision, and whereas TWL Hidden Lake LLC and/or their designated representative desire to dedicate a certain portion of said subdivision land as public streets in the village of Lakemore, Ohio. And whereas this council deems that the dedication of such streets would serve the interests of the village. Now therefore be it ordained by the council of the village of Lakemore, County of Summit, State of Ohio, Section 1, that a portion of Starlight Circle and Bookman Avenue, as depicted and set forth in the subdivision plat of Hidden Lake Estates Phase 8, are hereby accepted and dedicated for public use along with associated storm sewers, water lines, and wetland area. Section 2, that the acceptance of Section 1 herein is conditional upon the owner paying total general improvement costs, including but not limited to storm sewers, stormwater detention or wetland area, sanitary sewers, water lines, streets, curbs, gutters, sidewalks, street lighting, and all other necessary improvements, holding the village harmless therefrom. Section 3, that the acceptance in Section 1 herein is further conditional upon the execution of a bond or irrevocable letter of credit in the sum of $115,000 for general improvement, excluding sidewalks to the village of Lakemore, guaranteeing the completion of such streets and improvements as set forth in Section 1 herein on or before 18 months from the effective date of this ordinance, in accordance with the standards and specifications of the village of Lakemore and the County of Summit, Ohio. Section 4, that the acceptance in Section 1 herein is further conditional upon the execution of a bond or irrevocable letter of credit in the sum of $10,000, guaranteeing the completion of sidewalks within 6 months of final building inspection for each individual lot created therein, that in no event later than on or before 36 months from the effective date of this ordinance, in accordance with the standards and specifications of the village of Lakemore. Section 5, the owner has deposited the sum of $7,500 with the village of Lakemore ERA-CRA account to cover necessary costs of inspection, checking of plans and plat, checking of construction, and any other necessary inspections of the village in connection with the construction of said streets and in the installation of any improvements therein. TWL Hidden Lake LLC and/or their designated representative shall be furnished an itemized account of such necessary expenditures by the village and shall, in the event that such is necessary, reimburse the village for any additional costs properly incurred in addition to the sum originally deposited, or shall receive from the village, in the event that the necessary costs are less, a refund of the balance remaining of the sum originally deposited. Section 6, that in addition to all other sums, TWL Hidden Lake LLC and/or their designated representative has deposited the sum of $500 with the village of Lakemore to provide for installation of street signs not purchased or installed by TWL Hidden Lake LLC and/or their designated representative. TWL Hidden Lake LLC and/or their designated representative shall be furnished an itemized account of such necessary expenditures by the village, and shall, in the event that such is necessary, reimburse the village for any additional costs properly incurred in addition to the sum originally deposited, or shall receive from the village, in the event that the necessary costs are less, a refund of the balance remaining of the sum originally deposited. Section 7, that the acceptance set forth in Section 1 herein is further conditional upon the execution of a bond or irrevocable letter of credit to the Village of Lakemore by TWL Hidden Lake LLC and/or their designated representative in the sum of $100,000, guaranteeing the maintenance of said roads listed in Section 1 within the subdivision, including storm sewers, stormwater detention facilities, sanitary sewers, water lines, streets, curbs, gutters, street lighting, and other improvements, excluding sidewalks across open space areas for a period of 2 years following the completion and acceptance of the construction of said general improvements. Section 8, that the acceptance set forth in Section 1 herein is further conditional upon the execution of a bond or irrevocable letter of credit to the Village of Lakemore by TWL Hidden Lake LLC and/or their designated representative in the sum of $5,000, guaranteeing the maintenance of said roads listed in Section 1 within the subdivision for sidewalks across open space areas for a period of 2 years following the completion and acceptance of the construction of said general improvements. Section 9, that it is further conditioned that to the acceptance set forth in Section 1 herein, TWL Hidden Lake LLC and/or their designated representative shall deposit with the Department of Public Services of the Village of Lakemore the original tracings or approved Mylars of the improvement plans, all of which shall become the property of the Village of Lakemore. In addition, record court drawings in Mylar and electronic file or AutoCAD format and related data shall be deposited with the Department of Public Services upon completion of construction. Section 10, that by the dedication of said roads listed in Section 1 for public use as streets described in Section 1 herein, TWL Hidden Lake LLC and/or their designated representative do for themselves agree and covenant that they shall pay all special assessments on such parcels herein dedicated and hold the village harmless therefrom. Section 11, that as a further condition to the acceptance set forth in Section 1 herein, TWL Hidden Lake LLC and/or all titled owners making the conveyance shall provide to the Village of Lakemore a title guarantee and lien releases, if appropriate, for those lands to be dedicated as indicated on the final subdivision plat for Hidden Lake Estates Phase 8. The developer will provide, if requested, inspector reports of existing infrastructure, including but not limited to storm sewer film, sanitary sewer film, and pavement cores. The developer will also attain all approvals, permits, easements, etc. required by County of Summit, Ohio, including the Department of Sanitary Sewer Services and the Summit County Conservation District. Section 12, that the Village of Lakemore fiscal officer is hereby directed to deliver 2 certified copies of this ordinance, plus any applicable filing fees to the fiscal officer of Summit County within 10 days of passage. Section 13, that the mayor and chairman of the planning commission are hereby directed to endorse upon the subdivision plat of Hidden Lake Estates Phase 8 the approval and acceptance of this council of the roads listed in Section 1 within the subdivision as dedicated streets of the village. Section 14, that it is found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the adoption of this ordinance were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 15, this ordinance shall go into effect on and after the earliest period allowed by law. Ordinance number 1824-2023, an ordinance to amend ordinance 1795-2022, make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Lakemore, State of Ohio, during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, and State of Ohio. Section 1, Council approves to increase appropriations in General Fund $5,000 for bridge payment for the credit card fees. Street Construction, Maintenance, and Repair Fund 2011, $18,559.42 for sanitary and road project and plow truck repairs. Note principal on Police Facility 3102, $1 million for renovation project. Water Operating Fund 5101, $5,000 for surveying and engineering services for Fairdale and Michaels. Sewer Operating Fund 5201, $15,000 for surveying and engineering services for Fairdale and Michaels. Section 2, Treasury for payments from any of the foregoing appropriations upon receiving prop certificates and vouchers therefore approved by the board or officers authorized by law to approve the same, or an ordinance or resolution of council to make the expenditures, provided that no warrant shall be drawn or paid for salaries or wages except to persons employed by authority of and in accordance with law or ordinance. It shall be provided further that the appropriations for contingencies can only be expended upon appeal of 2/3 vote of council for items of expense constituting a legal obligation against the village for purposes other than those covered by the specific appropriations herein made. Section 3, this ordinance is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the village of Lakemore, Ohio. Therefore, this ordinance should go into effect immediately.
Take a drink. Do you need a walk? Do you need a breather after all that?
Bruh,
That was a lot.
golly gee. Little segue into the mayor's
It
report.
made me thirsty.
Segueing into the mayor's report. First, I'd like to say thank you to some awesome people who went out Sunday morning and took care of a lot of cleanup and weeding and raking and trash collecting and such at Dodds Park this past Sunday. And especially Nikki and Joe Kuntz, thank you and your husband, and Don Morrison, my sister Julie, Daniel Hamer, of course Tracy, thank you, you were the first one there, busting it out. So thank you guys, it looks amazing, always, and it looks amazing.
Yes,
So
it
thank
looked
you
great.
guys. It
We had a good time, didn't we, Tracy?
We did.
It was
It was a good
so-
workout.
Several
Yep.
hours and a hotter day than it's been, but you guys are pretty amazing, so thank you. And hopefully there's gonna be some more people participating in some cleanups in the near future, but that's the goal. Thank you, guys.
You're
It
welcome.
looks wonderful. Dodds Park's glowing. I would like to remind everybody that the Lakemore Food Pantry is happening Wednesday, August 30th, at 5 PM. That's a week from this Wednesday. 5 PM at Lakemore United Methodist Church. I also would like to remind everyone that November is Give Back Tuesday month at Geo's, and that month's beneficiary is the Lakemore Lions Club. So if you're hungry on a Tuesday and didn't cook anything yet, please consider going to Geo's and supporting the Lakemore Lions Club. And Akron Appreciation, Akron Zoo Community Appreciation Days are coming up soon. They sent some tickets that we'll have on file for those unable to get the tickets online, but really quickly, hopefully we'll get this in the paper and on TV, but to register and get tickets online, it's www.akronzoo.org/communitydays. That's the address to apply for the tickets for Lakemore, and they are state-specific, and each day during Community Days is limited to 1,000 tickets, so that people can have some elbow room and get through the zoo in a timely manner. So get there early, online and get your tickets before they're gone. Again, it's www.akronzoo.org/communitydays, and Tracy will get it on our website, and we'll get it blasted out on all our social media avenues. And I think that's it. And again, we have some, just 20 only, but we will have these on file at the,
They can call me.
they can call Tracy, yeah, at the municipal building, haha. Anyway, yes, call Tracy or email the village, right? Cool. That's
for
all,
me.
that's all I have. Council President, Mrs. Cochran.
Okay, first I'd like to start off telling you when our next council meetings will be, and for the month of September. And the first date is September 5th. Now, that's going to be a little different because it's going to be on a Tuesday at 7, not Monday because of Labor Day. And after that, our next meeting will go back to Monday, September the 18th. And again, that will be at 7 o'clock. The only other thing I'd like to mention was Saturday, I attended the celebration of life for our former Lakemore Police Department Chief Joe Sands. And what a wonderful turnout he had. There was
Hundreds.
yeah, I can't even tell you how many hundreds. And there were so many people from Lakemore that was there. People that don't normally come out and around, but it was just so nice to see everyone be so respectful and show their condolences to his family. And it was a very nice day. That's it for me.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks, Laura. Mrs. Coons?
Well, hello. So I have two things. As you guys are all aware, school is coming back in session, and we have a lot of kids who are on sanitarium walking, and we have some kids that have to cross, Canton Road. So everyone just be aware that the kids are going back to school, and they'll be back on sanitarium road. So, everyone just keep it slow.
Kind of slow down and.
Slow your roll.
Yeah.
Great.
The kids are
Pay
back
attention.
out. My second thing is Lakemore United Methodist Church is having a community day on this Saturday, August 26th from 11 to 4. They're going to have free food, a cakewalk, bounce houses, and free haircuts. And this is for anyone, all ages. Come see them at Lakemore United Methodist Church. It's going to be a fun day. We'll all be there, and that's all I have.
Thank you.
Everyone have a safe time back at school. Have a good year.
Amen.
That's what I
Thank
meant to
you.
say.
Okay, Ms. Snyder.
Hi,
Thank
I
you.
have some announcements from the Spectrum Community Channel 1023, and I'll just read them. Springfield and Lakemore Community Channel 1023 is proud to serve our community by providing access to our local government meetings as well as programming and information of community events. They are currently running special programs of Springfield summer concerts. Tune in to Spectrum Channel 1023 for a selection of recent programming. To view the current program schedule, tune into the channel or go online to springfieldtownship.us. Also, community members may now access all current and past programming on demand via our new YouTube channel. Find it by searching Springfield Lakemore Community Channel on YouTube. Even more community information is available from 1023 on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and their blog. And if you know of any events or activities in the Lakemore Springfield communities that you might like to see on the community channel, it is a community channel, so please let us know how we can best serve you. Contact your local government officials who will pass the word along. And the current programs running on the channel are Springfield Summer Concerts Overboard, Springfield Concerts Eclipse, and the Lakemore Council meeting. And thanks to Frank, Jim, and Dan for their work on this. And that's all I have.
Thanks, Ann. Mr.
I really
Schmidt.
don't have much. I'd just like to mention that our next council workshops will be August 29th and September 13th, and each of those at 6 o'clock at the Lakemore United Methodist Church. And on top of Ms. Cochran's, just a reminder that our council meetings are held here at Springfield High School.
Thanks, John. Ms. Anderson.
All right, with going back to school, the Spartan Snack Pack will be up and running soon. So this Thursday, August 24th at 6 p.m., we will have our first snack pack packing for the year, for the meals to start going out the first weekend and the first Friday in September. So if you would like to volunteer to come help pack meals for the kids for the weekend food program for the Springfield school system, we welcome any and all volunteers. Again, that is Thursday, the 24th of August at 6 p.m., and it will be at the new administration building, the old Boyer Kindergarten Center. So if you would love to come and join us. And we are also looking for a volunteer coordinator, someone that can reach out to community churches and organizations and things like that, give them information about our program and follow up with them to give them information about packings that will be coming up and things like that. So if you would be interested in, becoming the volunteer coordinator, that would be awesome. So with that, that is all that I have.
Thank you, Heather. Mr. Ray.
Cool, just some housekeeping. So I just wanted to remind everybody to not rake or blow leaves or debris into roadways or waterways to avoid negative effects to Springfield Lake. We have the ultrasound equipment back and working, so hopefully
Yes.
nobody runs it over. Let's keep it good.
Please don't run it over.
Please
Don't
don't.
Please.
Very expensive.
Go around.
But yeah, and then also, just, I don't know if people have noticed, I know that we've talked about it in the workshops, that like sometimes your trash might be picked up a little bit later. Kimball is having a little bit of hard times with their employees right now, so give
Yes,
them a little.
everywhere.
Literally
I mean, it's
everywhere,
everywhere.
right. So, I mean, you can always call and they will tell you the exact same thing down at the municipal building, wherever they are at that time. But just know they are out there, they are coming, they're just a little bit strained, so it might be later. I know ours didn't get picked up on sanitarium until much later this evening, so
And
it's
it's,
just how it
the employee
goes.
things everywhere. They've had stores closed down
Yeah.
because they can't get somebody to cover the register. There's a
Right.
lot of people
I
that
had some stuff I was.
Absolutely.
working by themselves and
I
there's
mean,
just 2 people.
We had the same issue with,
Sure.
Republic toward the end of their
Yeah.
contract as well. So, I mean, sometimes it was like the next day or even later than that, so they're not, Kimball's
Or just not
quite
at all.
there, but I mean, I just wanted to put it out there, that way you're not alarmed if it hasn't been yet, they are on
It
their
will
way
be.
for sure.
So, yeah, we, also with Republic, I mean, one of the things that people have to keep in mind is everybody is like, oh, Republic was so much better. We had issues with Republic as well. Every place is short-staffed, and the thing is, with Republic, one of the nice things with Kimball is Kimball does an every week recycle. So with Republic, it was every other week. So with them, you're getting more service because you're getting more recycle. So everybody that is complaining about Kimball, you're getting a good service. And we're still within the parameters of the contract that we signed, because Kimball was a Monday and Tuesday pickup. So they came to us and wanted a Monday to kind of do everybody. So sometimes they're short-staffed, sometimes they do have truck issues and things like that. So even with the Tuesday pickup, they're still within the parameters of the original contract that they signed with the Village of Lakemore. So, with that, go ahead.
Thank you, Heather. Is there anything else from
I just
council?
want to pick up on something Nick, you brought up about
Yeah.
the kids walking. Also remember the school buses, the flashing red lights and the stop signs is not a suggestion.
Right.
I have seen it, people, I don't know what their hurry is to get up Lake Road, but
Right.
go around a school bus while kids are trying to load or actually crossing the street. And witnessed, them almost being hit because somebody's gonna
Nothing's
not
that
spend 3
important,
seconds
right?
more by sitting behind the bus.
Nothing's more important
So
than the
it's-
kids being
it's-
safe.
It's not a suggestion, it's a law, and I hope that when it is seen, that somebody gets ticketed to the highest possible fine they can.
True. And speaking of those flashing red stop signs, thank you, Tracy, for coordinating with NOPEC on
Yes.
the 3 of them, right?
There's 2.
Oh, okay, I thought there was one by
No.
three.
So we have one flashing stop sign there in front of the fire station, because even though that's where the police station is, people just fly
Right.
through it. There's signs
It's
everywhere,
not a
through
suggestion.
traffic, big stop signs, so now there's a flashing stop sign there. The other one is a pretty dangerous intersection. It's Lakeside, Church Street, and Sunnyside. Church Street does not stop, even though it's one way, they don't stop. So people coming off Lakeside, I know it's kind of difficult, but some people just don't stop down either. So this is just another reminder, along with the other signs, stop. Look both ways, because unfortunately, there's still some people who come down
Yeah.
Church Street the
They're
wrong
only going
way.
one way.
They're going one way, yeah. Just the wrong way.
Other side?
So we did, and I'm hoping to do that. It was with money we received from NOPEC. It was a grant. So there was just a small.
Could you say
fee.
that again?
Louder for the ones in
Please,
the back.
for the people that are on Facebook.
We've
wanna-
afforded those 2 new flashing stop sign with grant money from NOPEC.
All right.
Louder for the ones in the back.
Grant money.
For the ones who,
And
Grant
that
money.
is what we're hoping to do. I'm working with Chief Smith to see what other areas, and then every year, we will continue to buy those for the higher risk areas. We're also out of pocket, but we're going to be installing some no parking signs, temporary parking signs for areas to help kind of keep traffic flowing, for student drop-off, pickup, that kind of thing. Transportation, we're gonna be starting the Josephine water line replacement, in September, after Labor Day. It's gonna take about 3 weeks, so I've contacted both Super Learning Center and Springfield local schools to let them know that there might be some issues with busing, and all the safety services are made aware. The contractors will have people there directing traffic, but sometimes something like that, you know, can slow
Are
buses
we gonna
down.
door drop notices or anything?
I'm going to send a copy of the
Cool.
construction schedule to everybody. Almost all of them have already called me, though, because they were staking for the water, staking property lines.
They're like, are we getting a new road? What are they doing?
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Good.
The other thing, we have been working with the Ohio State University in 2 different capacities and Springfield Township about Springfield Lake. There's one study going that's regarding trying to determine what kinds of bacteria or algae are in Springfield Lake, so we know how best to continue to treat them, what exactly are we treating, and then go a step further and hopefully find out, you know, are we getting more in, or is it just kind of feeding itself and continuing to grow? The other one is testing the sonic units that we have in the lake. So both are going to be kind of long-term studies, but we're going to be having our first meeting at the end of this month to kind of see where we're at. And then we're going to continue to take samples at Springfield Lake to see where we're at. And then finally, out on the other end of Sanitarium Road, if you haven't noticed, they've put up road construction signs. So the intersection of Portage Line and Sanitarium going to be a little difficult to get through for the next week. So the school's starting, just everybody leave a little bit earlier, find an alternate route. Don't run anybody over.
Right.
We're really pushing the safety on
I know.
don't run
We are
anyone over.
Gonna have another meeting with AMATS and the architectural firm that they hired regarding the kind of the safe ways, Spartan Trail committee that we created. So hopefully once we get through that, which will take most of this year, once they determine the best ways to get people through Lakemore, including people coming from Springfield, whether it be Springfield Lake or other sidewalk areas, then they're going to help us then get funding to do that.
It'd be awesome.
Awesome.
And then Springfield's gonna be doing another phase of the Spartan Trail up behind the high school. up
And
here.
that is Springfield doing it.
Yes,
Not-
Springfield with
okay.
Springfield money.
I just want to make sure.
And whatever
ones in the
grant
back.
money they're
You
getting,
can't hear that.
it's in the village of Lakemore,
Uh-huh,
but
correct.
it's all of the work that's been being done on the Spartan Trail has been afforded by Springfield Township and whatever grants that they've been getting.
Mhm.
We've just been supporting them,
Right.
so. That's it.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Tracy.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
One thing that I'd like to add is that since our last meeting, we did have Safety Town here for the incoming kindergartners. And that was a really nice program again this year. It was 3 days, twice here and once at Town Hall in Springfield. I believe next year it's gonna be 1 day at least at Lakemore when we have our safety services venues completed. So I'm excited to host. It'll be a wonderful program again, I'm sure. But it was a really nice collaboration with, Children's Hospital, who provided everyone that participated with bike helmets, and GASP was there, and several different administrations, and it was really nice to collaborate with the township and the schools, and have the village in the village. It was nice. So that happened since our last meeting. That's all I have. Is there anything else?
I just wanted to remind everyone, when Tracy said about the no parking, it might not be people in the village, maybe it's other people coming in to to fish at the lake or whatever. But there has been a lot more people pulling up actually to the lake and parking on the lake shore to go fishing and things like that. So, you're not really supposed to do that, so, just a reminder, to not do that, but, you know, sometimes it's people coming in from outside of Lakemore that's doing it, but, you know, just a reminder once in a while, you know, it's, you're not really
We
supposed to
have a
do
few
that.
that like to drive up through
Well,
there.
yeah, John, that's a good time to say that. I mean, that,
Yeah,
from the
I
point to
mean,
the park is not a roadway.
It's not a road,
a
it's not a
park.
parking lot, it's not a place to work on your car, it is a park. And
Yeah.
driving your vehicles, your ATVs, whatever, up and down the lakefront is.
Won't be me.
Yeah. Is unacceptable, and I hope that our police department will start finding and towing these vehicles
Yeah.
when it happens, because I know there's one gentleman that continuously, and the police have been sent down there, he'll move it, then a few weeks later, he's right back there. And it's just, you know, growing up on the lakefront, it was something we never was permitted to do, and I mean, I remember fines, I remember people,
Right.
so,
And then people, when you have someone that,
no, I wasn't that.
and when you have someone that does that, then other people think, oh, you
Yeah,
must
it's
be
okay.
allowed to
For
do
sure,
that
yeah,
now, and
absolutely.
you're not, it's not a,
Absolutely.
it's not a parking lot, it's not a roadway,
It's not
so-
permissible, right?
Yes, so just,
Thank you, everyone. Good. Anything else? It's quite a lot of information.
We had a lot of Safety Town information here today.
Yeah.
I feel like we had our own little
Our own
Safety Town
safety
I
today.
know. He's still writing over there, texting, typing away.
Oh.
Let's hope we got everything. Okay, if there's nothing more from us at this time, appearing before council, we have Ed Eitner Senior. Would you go to the podium or the musical stand, if you will? Microphone is a good
Stand
word.
behind these things
Yep.
a lot.
State your name. All right, you can tell.
Tiger Senior.
Address?
3110 Dorchester Court, down the street.
In Lakemore.
Mr. Mayor, Madam Village Administrator, and Madam Fiscal Officer, and council persons, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I would like to thank the members of the Lakemore United Methodist Church for hosting the backpack program since our town hall is still under construction. And I'd like to thank Springfield Cares, who provided 200 backpacks for our children going back to school. And I'd like to thank the St. Vincent de Paul Society of Nativity of Lord Jesus Catholic Church, which I am the president of, for supplying 200 backpacks. I think it's a worthy program that we continue this program out throughout the village in Springfield Township. I thank you for the opportunity to speak. I don't want to take up any more of your time, but thank you so much, and you guys keep up the good work. I appreciate what you guys do. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was nice. And let me say too, thank you to you and your group and the church Nativity over there for always supporting the school district, and you're supporters of the village, even though the church is just outside of the village. And you support Springfield Cares, and you support the Spartan Snack Pack.
yes.
And so many worthwhile causes that church and you and the group are always supporting. So really, truly, thank you
We also
Thank you.
support Bulldog backpacks
for Green,
for
sure.
free.
Yeah,
Wow.
fine, yeah.
That's awesome.
And you collaborate with Assembly and my church and everybody, always with a smile and such a kind, gracious heart. So thank you from all of us, truly.
So,
Thank you. Awesome.
And as the president of Spartan Snack Pack, we appreciate the many donations that you guys give
Continue
to
to
us.
come in.
Yes, his wonderful wife every month calls me and says, what do you need? And I let her know and,
Sure.
you know, what we're short on, and many a times it's been a blessing that we have been
Absolutely.
short on certain things that, you know, that we just can't afford to go out and spend out of pocket. So it is a wonderful program, and Spartan Snack Pack really appreciates it, and I'm sure the kids appreciate it as well.
Let Marilyn know she got a shout out, would you?
Yeah, last time Marilyn brought in the Slim Jims, and the kids absolutely love
Of course,
those.
yeah.
We have
Yes.
some more.
Awesome,
Bravo.
awesome, yes.
Good.
Look on his face, it's like he's got a whole lot.
Hey, so we have, is that everything then?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. We have a lot. We have one item for old business, and that's Mr. Strickmatter's motion. But then, Mrs. Cochran, you have 8, so will you just
I'll keep on going.
let me open up new business and then just go with
Yeah.
it, please? Okay, Mr. Strickmatter, you're up.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like make a motion to adopt resolution number 7283-2023, a resolution accepting the purchase agreement from Aqua Ohio for the Village of Lakemore's water system.
A second.
Second?
John,
We all
thank you,
look
Sam. Is there any discussion on this
I would
matter?
just like to say that this proposal, when we first contacted Aqua Ohio, was, for lack of a better term, was kind of in desperation to help with our sewer system
Yeah.
mostly. And
But they're not in it.
the water system was
They don't want-
just a part of it. It was one whole unit that we wanted to sell.
Due diligence.
Yeah, to find ways to lower prices, take care of things, have things fixed. Well, they come back with a proposal to just take the money, more or less. To take what is profitable to them and leave the rest.
Which is, they want the water,
They
but
want
not
the water
the sewer.
system, which,
Absolutely.
there's other entities that want our water
But
system.
we did our due diligence and
Yes.
looked all into it and discussed it several times.
Absolutely. So with that being said,
So this proposal, it's kind of confusing on the face of it. It
Basically,
says
all
that it
the-
is, that we're not purchasing it, but,
no,
This-
they're asking to purchase it.
yeah, and this is our thing of saying no.
This is to move
No,
further
this is
with
to move
discussing.
forward.
Oh,
You're
okay.
saying yes
With
or no?
discussing,
Gotcha.
right, do you want to move further with discussing with Aqua Ohio terms for their purchase of our water system? So if you do not want them, if you don't wanna move any further, then you would vote no.
Correct.
And if you want to, you vote yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Exactly.
Is there anything else to discuss at the moment?
Nope.
Thank you, Mr. Strittmatter, thank you for that point, Heather, and for the clarification, Tracy. And Laura, anything else?
No, let's,
Roll call, please.
Did you get a second?
Mr. Ray,
No.
Mrs. Cochran,
no.
Mrs. Coontz,
No.
Ms. Snyder,
No.
Mr.
It's a
Strittmatter,
hard no.
Ms. Anderson.
Absolutely no.
Okay, new business, Mrs. Cochran, take it away for eight, please.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 7287-2023, a resolution accepting the resignation of Wesley Rogers as part-time patrolman with the Lakemore Police Department. But first, I'd like to make a motion to dispense with the 3 reads.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laura, thanks, John. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cochran,
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz,
Yes.
Ms. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter,
Yes.
Ms. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Ray.
Yes.
And
I'll second the
so-
original.
thank you.
Thank you, John or Heather. Thanks, guys. Any discussion on this one?
I just want to say, we're sorry to see him go. He had another job, I think he was at an area hospital, and received more hours, and he was just working very part-time here, so he had to give it up, so it wouldn't infringe on his
Full.
real job, his
His
full-time
A
job.
job or whatever we call it. Yeah, okay. Any other discussion?
Nope.
Sad to see him go.
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Coontz,
Yes.
Ms. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter,
Yes.
Ms. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Ray,
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran.
Yes.
Good luck to you.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 7288-2023, a resolution accepting the resignation of Mary Beth Klink as part-time sergeant with the Lakemore Police Department. But again, first I'd like to make a motion to dispense with the 3 reads.
I'll
Second.
second.
Thank you.
Again, roll call, please.
Whoever.
All right. Ms. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter,
Yes.
Ms. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Ray,
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran,
Yes,
Mrs. Coontz.
Yes.
I'll second the original.
thank you.
Thanks, Heather. Any discussion?
Well, again, I'd like to thank, I know the Sergeant Mary Beth was not here long as a sergeant, and it's just an unfortunate circumstance. She retired from the county, and then when it came down to her retirement, staying here would have affected her retirement monthly, a lot of money.
Significantly, yeah.
But she did, agree to stay on as a reserve or auxiliary where, she'll be working for free.
And she's quite the trainer, yeah.
Yes, she was
She's
our
quite the
trainer,
trainer,
and she
yeah.
was very well, liked it and doing well here, but you know, you
Just got
gotta
used to seeing her
protect
on
your
the streets.
retirement. So,
It's a shame.
and that's the only
Trolling.
reason she's leaving.
Yeah.
That's sad. Okay.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Regretfully, yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 7289-2023, a resolution approving the Village of Lakemore Police Department to enter into a service agreement with Springfield Local Schools to provide an attendance coordinator. First, I'd like to make a motion to dispense with the 3 reads.
I'll second.
Second.
Roll call, please. Roll call, please.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
I'll second the original.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Any discussion on
Well,
that?
Yeah,
Yes.
when I first came in, I wanted to know if there was any changes from this year to last year. So I texted the business agent here, what's his?
Business
Dustin, manager. I knew that was.
Dustin Boswell.
Dustin, so he did tell me that there was no change except for the date. That when we did it last year, it was just for 1 year, so they had to do a new
Renew it,
contract.
sure.
So it's the same contract, just different school year.
Is this different than our resource officer, this attendance
Yes.
coordinator?
Yes, but we've had
And they
this,
have both, so,
yeah, we
Yes.
had this
Okay.
last year as well.
okay.
Cool. Okay, any other discussion? Anybody? Roll call, please.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 7290-2023, a resolution approving the fire chief to hire Brandon Ham as part-time firefighter medic with the Lakemore Fire Department. But first, I'd like to dispense with the 3 reads, please.
I'll second.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please. Sorry.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
I'll second the original.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Now, is there any discussion?
Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
Nice,
Yeah.
welcome, exactly.
We can't get it too many people for our safety services.
Amen. Okay. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes. Okay. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 7291-2023, a resolution approving the fire chief to promote Kevin Atkinson to assistant chief with the Lakemore Fire Department. But first, I'd like to dispense with the 3 reads.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Second the original.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Any discussion?
I'm happy to see
Yeah.
Kevin.
Me too.
Yeah,
I
congratulations.
remember him first getting on the department and then not knowing, and to be promoted to assistant chief, just,
And the fact that he's also a Lakemore
Oh, yes.
resident, really,
I remember him being born, okay? So I remember, he was like next door neighbor, I remember
Yeah,
him being
that's
born at
true.
my sister's age. So
right, but, we're really
Thrilled.
happy, we're happy to have him, we're happy
I'm
to have
thrilled.
them all.
yeah.
But I'm real
And
tickled
this
for
position
him.
also is to help the other assistant chief, Joe, who,
Right.
his
Yeah.
family's growing, his A job is wanting more from him, and to be able to take some of the pressure off the chief and off of assistant chief,
Right.
promoting Kevin to help take over some of that role. So this is
Nice.
awesome.
Nice. Any other discussion?
I don't see John smile that big very often. So I'm
That's
like,
my boy.
Okay, I'm just saying he
That's
is
an inside
smiling
joke,
over
that's
there.
my boy.
Good job. Good job. All right.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Absolutely, yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 7292-2023, a resolution approving the fire chief to promote David Goodspeed to captain with the Lakemore Fire Department. Again, I'd like to dispense with the 3 reads,
I'll
please.
second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes. I'll second the original.
Thank you, John. Any discussion on this? All good moves tonight.
All
Yes.
good moves, and he's just replacing the spot that Kevin's leaving open. So they're just, all these are moving up.
It's like a pyramid.
Yeah,
But not here, never mind. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 7293-2023, a resolution approving the fire chief to promote Brandon Ernstberger to lieutenant with the Lakemore Fire Department. But first, I'd like to dispense with the 3 reads, please.
Second,
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes. I'll second the original.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes. Okay, last one for me. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 7294-2023, a resolution approving the fire chief to promote Daniel Himes to lieutenant with the Lakemore Fire Department. First, I'd like to make a motion to dispense with the 3 reads, please.
Second,
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Second, the original,
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Strittmatter?
yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, council. Mr. Strittmatter, you're up for 2.
All right.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 7296-2023, a resolution expressing support to the city of Akron, Ohio, where's that? The city or Akron's proposed alternative combined sewer overflow, CSO, project to Summit County, Ohio, which will provide a greater environmental benefit for the Cuyahoga River watershed region than the Row 11.A requirement in Akron's long-term control plan update, urging the United States Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, to reconsider its continued insistence on requiring Akron to spend in excess of $200 billion on largely idle water treatment technology, but instead move forward with more environmentally beneficial and cost-effective alternative projects and declaring it an emergency. First, I'd like to make a motion to dispense with the 3 reads.
I'll second.
Pick one, Megan. Roll call, please.
Third.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
I'll second the original also.
Thanks, Laura. Any discussion on this, guys? I know-
Just, we are standing behind this because of the cost of doing something that's probably not gonna make any improvements. And whenever there's a cost like that, it's gonna trickle down.
Right.
And we've done trickled down enough. You know, I'd rather trickle down a little bit than trickle down part of a
For sure.
$200 billion bill.
Trickle down
For
a
some-
little bit, that's gonna actually benefit us.
Yeah.
Directly, locally.
Directly.
Yeah, this,
We're
yeah,
hoping.
the alternative of what we're asking for, what they're asking for will benefit us greater than spending the other $200 billion.
Yeah, a lot of time has been spent in these projects, you know, in determining what would best improve Lakemore, Springfield Lake, et cetera, locally, and I just hope that they hear us.
They
No,
both, the city of Akron and Summit County have been very open about trying to help Lakemore right now with following through with our findings and orders for our sanitary system. So
You thinking it looks good?
I think, I'm hoping.
Crossing fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope too, man.
Fingers,
Anyway,
toes, eyes.
any other discussion? Sam, any key? No? Other? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 7297-2023, a resolution accepting a proposal from Hammontree and Associates LTD for professional surveying and engineering services for replacing the water line on First Street. First, I'd like to make a motion to dispense with the 3 reads.
A second.
Thanks, Heather. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes,
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
I'll second the original as well.
Thanks, Heather. Roll call, please. Any discussion? It's great to get this done,
Moving forward,
obviously.
Getting it done
Yeah.
one piece at a time.
Literally.
I-
One street at a time.
We're doing it, though. I mean, okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
last but not least, Ms. Anderson. Heather, you're up.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 1824-2023 and ordinance to amend ordinance 1795-2022. Make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Lakemore, State of Ohio, during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023. But first, I would like to make a motion to dispense with three readings.
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
I'll second the original.
Thanks, John. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Thank
Okay,
you.
at this time, I don't have any reason to go into an executive session unless anyone else does. So, no, okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Actually, I'm not used to these long meetings.